Drew and I essentially every morning Marco Polo each other, which is basically a social media app. If you guys don't know, you can send video recording messages way easier than text messaging, by the way. It's great. So anyways, but him and I basically do that almost every single morning, just to kind of catch up and say, hey, and one of our topics was this whole Raider drama with Derek Carr, also around Deshaun Watson. We actually did a video about if the Raiders should trade for Deshaun Watson. That's on our YouTube channel if you guys want to go check that out. Anyways, though, we were talking about it because Colin Cowherd was basically talking about what the Texans, and I will repeat that, what the Texans, the Houston Texans, should send to the Las Vegas Raiders as a trade proposal. And just to recap, Colin Cowherd said that the Texans should send a trade proposal to the Oakland Raiders of 4 first-round drafts. So taking the Raiders 4 first-round drafts, including it with Derek Carr and Darren Waller for Deshaun Watson. And the reason why his argument is you can probably get the Houston Texans, again, this is what Houston Texans would propose to the Raiders, to convince John Gruden to make this happen, because what Colin Cowherd's argument was, there's really no teams that have that power other than Bill Belichick to really make these decisions. Oh, also John Gruden, because he's got literally the owner's ear. And why is because Mayock may be the GM that makes some football personnels, but essentially John Gruden gets what he wants because he's got a direct line to the ownership. And truth be told, if it was Gruden and Mayock, goodbye. If that's how it was, because that's how much Davis loves John Gruden. So Colin Cowherd proposed that the Houston Texans should propose to the Las Vegas Raiders 4 first-round picks, Derek Carr, Darren Waller for Deshaun Watson, because John Gruden has that much power in the organization to make that decision over Mayock, and also with the owner's consent, with essentially mortgaging the future. Now, this put Raiders Twitter in an uproar, and I mean in a huge uproar, because some people were saying we should do it. Some people were saying the Raiders would never do that. And again, I hope the Raiders never do that, because we don't need a quarterback. And it is far too much. And I think Raider Nation more or less went over the deep end when Colin Cowherd included Darren Waller, because Darren Waller has been so great for us. And anything, you get Deshaun Watson, you want to keep a player like Darren Waller with him to, have a dynamic connection. But in my opinion, I think this is nothing more than just what Colin Cowherd was basically saying, what sounds like a good proposal that can get a team to think. And, if they did make the decision, you're not in a bad position in the Houston Texans perspective, because now you got 4 first-round picks, essentially in 4 consecutive years, that you can get some good draft picks out of and build your team around. You have Darren Waller, who is essentially the second best tight end in the entire football, and also you have Derek Carr, who's a proven winner, who had a career high in completion percentage the last 2 years, and also has thrown, I think, over 4,000 yards 2 years in a row. And it's not a bad, what he's saying, it's not bad compensation for giving up a player like Deshaun Watson. And again, so I will repeat my position on this, along with what I know Andrew has said, is there's no debate over who's the best quarterback. We're not debating if it's Deshaun Watson or Derek Carr. If we were just saying who's the quarterback you would prefer on your team right now, you're not giving up any assets, I would probably say, Deshaun Watson. He brings more to the table. He's more mobile. He's a better passer. He has a stronger arm. That's not to say that Derek Carr is not a phenomenal quarterback who's done a very good job for the Raiders organization since he's been there. However, I will say, though, that I think this is more an indictment on John Gruden. I've been in the camp for the last couple of weeks, and I've mentioned it, here and there on some episodes where we talked about Raiders, where I think John Gruden's basically in his final year to 2 years. I know he signed a 10-year deal. He just finished year 4. Year 5 is coming up. I just haven't seen the Raiders take the huge step like I've been expecting. The last 2 years, especially, where we get to a point where we're considered a playoff team, and then we fall off at the last tail of the season. This one was more apparent than anything. At one point we were 6-3. We had just lost to the Chiefs. We were feeling ourselves, and then we go 2 and 5 the rest of the way, or 2 and 6 the rest of the way, and we finished at an 8-8 record when we were in the hunt for a playoff. And in majority of the teams that made the playoffs, we owned the tiebreaker. Like, We own the tiebreaker over the or not over the Bills, I beg your pardon, over the Browns. Imagine if we would have just kept pace. I believe their record was 11-5. Had we finished 11-5, we would have made it in the playoffs. So, in my opinion, we don't need a quarterback. We don't need to trade for Deshaun Watson. Do I want him? Yeah, but I don't need to give up Derek Carr for him, nor do we need to give up 4 first-round picks. Um, he's a franchise quarterback, yeah, but what's the thing that hurt the Raiders? Their defense. Defense absolutely killed us. We fired Paul Gunther, a little over halfway from the end of the season. And that's what we need. What are we mortgaging the future for a quarterback that's not going to do more than give us one extra win? So we go 9-7 rather than 8-8, and we're good with that. And we just gave up 4 first rounds. Oh, by the way, there's no guarantee that Deshaun Watson signs an extension with us because he only has, I believe, it's 2 or 3 years left on his current deal, which is still a ton of money. I think he makes more than Derek Carr, so we would be giving up more financially and with less commitment essentially than what we have with Derek Carr, all for one extra win. And it doesn't even address it doesn't address the problem, which is defense. We need to draft for defense. We need to trade for defense. We need to do anything we can to improve the defense. I mean, we have literally John Gruden recruiting. Richard Sherman on a podcast to talk with him and bring him on the team. So, I mean, we need to do everything we can to shore up the defense, whether that be secondary. I think we need linebacker help for sure. We need more pressure. I've been hearing that Max Crosby basically has been playing with one arm, which, I mean, thank you for doing so, but that doesn't mean, that doesn't address the problem, which is we had no pressure going to the quarterback or the opposing teams. I think we were like dead last in sacks as a team defense. How bad does a team have to be ranked dead last? And I think we only had like 21 total sacks. 21 total sacks. Are you kidding me? That is pathetic. We shouldn't be the worst in the league. And it wasn't since Khalil Mack that we've had the worst defense. So we need to do something. But anyways, I think at the end of the day, with the Derek Carr kind of drama regarding he's going to get traded, if we're going to trade him for Deshaun Watson, now there's even rumors that we're going to sign him to an extension. I have no idea what the Raiders are doing, if this is all true reporting. Like, it is so wish-washy. I think at the end of the day, in my prediction, and then Drew, I don't think I mentioned this to Drew yet, but in my prediction, I don't know if Derek Carr comes back as the Raiders quarterback this new season for 2021. I think with all the talks of trading him, Deshaun Watson talks, I don't even know if they'll extend him. They may extend him to give him like maybe a few years of guaranteed dollars, but then trade his contract next offseason or whatever. But, I got to imagine there's teams like the Indianapolis Colts, maybe the Bears are calling. What's another team that's in like a quarterback disarray? Texans are probably calling right now too. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe the 49ers have been calling about it, Who knows? But I wouldn't even be surprised if the Denver Broncos have been calling. I mean, name any team that needs a quarterback. They probably have hit up the Raiders and asked them what their asking price is for Derek Carr, and we're listening. That just tells me I don't think that the Raiders keep Derek Carr on the roster. I think his days are numbered. I'd be happy if he starts the season as the Raiders quarterback, because I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he's a really, really good quarterback. I just hear all these rumors, and it's kind of disheartening. I mean, this guy has helped kind of bring this franchise along, and yeah, you have John Gruden, which you can always, for some reason, it just seemed like they never had a great relationship, and it's unfortunate that it's kind of looking like it's a nasty divorce in public. But for the most part, if I had to predict something, I would say I don't think Derek Carr is the Raiders quarterback come the start of the season because of all that's going on. So that'd be my prediction on that.